decks this time because I felt like it was my divine calling to do it right now. Been in a pretty good mood. I am definitely ignoring the world outside, so to speak. But maybe I will speak on that in elaboration at another time. But right now it's late. I want to wrap up my evening by pulling a few cards. It's Pisces season is super goth, so we were messing with the Halloween Oracle for the past few days and doing a ton of channeled messages lately. But I wanted to kind of bring it back to center and bring it back to the roots, the grounding, the situation, the foundation, the findings. I wanted to do some Thoth draws, and I was challenged to pull 15 Thoth cards right now. So that's what I'm about to do. That's just what I decided to do. Had a chat with Bae. If you want to watch the replay, it was pretty interesting, in my opinion. I thought it was quite funny. We talked about deep space ocean stuff for the most part, and a few other things. So I am drawing 15 Thoth cards and probably going to bed just about immediately after that. We like to party, but not really partake, you know what I mean? So we're just going to draw 15 Thoth cards. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 more. 13. 14, 15. Okay, now do we look at the bottom of the deck, or would that be technically 16? How does that work? We're going to see it. It's 4 of Cups, luxury. So we are coming from the basis of comfort. We are coming from a place of abundance, really. I know it's not the abundance card, but things are very balanced and fulfilling right now. And I always feel kind of, I don't want to say awkward, but I think being in the U.S., it makes everything about our lives awkward. So I don't mean to be insensitive and not address that there are horrible things going on in the world as I do these readings of, luxury and abundance. What does that mean for everyone? But it's about finding it in your mind and achieving it in your life. Kind of no matter what, but also realizing you have a lot more to be grateful for than we think about on a daily basis. And so the other night we were discussing some things, and I mentioned that it's interesting how we are told to grow out of our imaginations, but then you get older and they sell it back to you by calling it manifestations, right? So try to just imagine. And how John Lennon, I know, and I hate that dude for that shit, and all is forgiven now in death, but I hated all that kind of nonsense, that laziness of imagine all the people, imagine peace, whatever the fuck he was saying in bed and whatnot. But in a way, I kind of get it. I kind of see what he's saying. He just didn't have to be so damn lazy about it. Could have said more, right? It's fine. We talk sometimes. So when we say 4 cups, no, life's not perfect. It never will be, and it's a way different for other people too. And everybody has their perception of what it is, but definitely a lot to be grateful for as we get into it. So I just wanted to say that and send my peaceful, beautiful, healing, repairing, safe images in my mind to people who have different pictures that maybe are not so fun to look at. So that's my little blessing. Okay. Top of the deck here we have the Five of Cups, disappointment. So on one side it's the Four of Cups, luxury, and on the other side it's the Five of Cups, disappointment. So we're looking at two sides of the coin, and I feel like that's what I really just was getting into with that whole spiel about, my theme lately was duality, but I'm kind of transforming into detoxifying. It's like getting rid of and purging and cleansing. It's detoxifying. It's like duality is learning how to master it and be both and accept and navigate. But to detoxify is to just reject the notion that things have to be horrible. And I understand that there's a universal balance. We even got into, playing the role of the villain, having to be seen as a villain. But who made that up? Who said so? Who said there has to be a villain? So try to just imagine a peaceful world, if that suits you. And if it doesn't suit you, then what the hell is actually wrong with you? Are you Capricorn? The devil? Is the devil what? Oh my God, Satan, is that you? I would be so honored if Satan watched my fucking Twitch stream. Are you kidding me? Look, upside down cross. How did I even do that just now? Adorable. I would just love if you were a Capricorn. So here's my 15 cards. We have the Queen of Discs up top, heavy on the earth energy, right? Me too, though. Money, where the mouth is. Stability in the home. Looking out from the throne, you know what I'm saying? The Queen of Discs, alone and stable. Okay, so, but also caring and looking out for everyone else in a sense. We have the Priestess, the all-knowing, the High Priestess, the, yeah, goodness, very goodness. It's almost like the whole point was to be on tangent. Like, this is me being on point in a sense. That's so fucking funny. Are you a Capricorn watching right now? It's ridiculous. And then the Hermit is Virgo. Lots of earth energy. Could be me, though. Could be me. We saw the Devil. That makes 3. The Hermit, the Capricorn, and the earth energy plus the Queen of Discs of all things. Jesus. Okay. And the Priestess. So you know if it's you. You know if you're an earth sign. You know if this is for you. But also it's playing back into the idea of stability and grounding. And I think it's at the very beginning of all this that we were going to get back to the roots and such things. I was referring to the deck, but at the same time, Two of Cups, love. It's there. It's there. But at what expense? At what expense? So there is something face down. And we could reveal it now, or we could see what we've got going on to see what exactly is fucking up the earth signs right now. So think of it this way. If you're watching now or watching the replay, it doesn't necessarily always have to be somebody who's actively in your life that is represented in these cards, just for that person to have an effect on your life. Like, you might watch a tarot reading and be like, yeah, right, there's no earth signs in my life, but you actually don't even know that your boss is an earth sign, and your boss actually affects your life more than, your spouse does, in a sense, right? They control the environment, they control the paycheck. So it can be something like that if it ever doesn't resonate, which it's strange that I went out of my way to clarify that. But I feel like if you just walked in, this is probably something to do with your boss or some shit. We'll see. We'll see what it is. We got the face down card. Thank you, by the way. So I just keep thinking Zaboomafoo. We have the Queen of Swords. So a little bit of air energy in there and another queen. So big on the feminine energy. I don't always do the divine partnership readings. It's usually with the mystery deck, but if it helps the narrative, but either way, lots of feminine energy. So divine woman or anyone. It's not about sex or gender, but just the counterpart. And also earth signs, water signs. So heavy on the earth energy, but switching it up and going to swords. I think she's a bit of a shit starter. I think she is a conflict person for sure. The Queen of Swords. It is a hard-working energy, but it's almost like putting in the work for something that has no plan. Like doing what for what, if that makes a little sense. Again, I said something about someone's boss, so it would kind of go hand in hand where it's almost like fuck it mode when it comes to the work, where you're like, oh, I'll do it, but you won't like the way I do it because you're just over it kind of energy. And then boom, the Tower. So it makes perfect sense where it's all coming down, it's all fall down. It's maybe not even worth the work to an extent, because not worth the work, but if you're not putting in the effort, there's no point in doing it because it's going to fall apart. The thing is, we have the Nine of Wands, strength. You can handle that kind of change. You can handle that Tower moment. You can handle being at odds. You find it to be at ease, right? You're like, this is what I wanted. I was sabotaging the whole time. So, of course, you can get through it. Strength, right? Nine of Wands. With great strength comes greater resilience. But you can push back, and you are absolutely killing it. But at the same time, you know that no one else can handle it. You got the Ten of Swords. You're like, fuck, man. I really screwed them over. Like, didn't screw myself over, but everything around me is falling apart now. And I don't like that. I feel guilty. Nine of Swords. Cruelty. Yikes. All because you wanted to be an emotional little fuck boy. Is this still the Capricorn? I'm kidding. Or am I? Kidding. Prince of Wands. Emotional little fuck boy. Face down card, and then Queen of Cups. So it could be, it's very much motherly energy, but another three queens, earth, air, and water. No fire, no passion, no emotion, really, you know. It's interesting either way. Don't know why I started shuffling this, but Nine of Cups is now at the bottom. We had the Four of Cups luxury and the Five of Cups disappointment. So put those together and you found some happiness, right? Who cares if you're miserable, content, or just, you know, not living up to your full potential? If you live in comfort, it's fine. So, Queen of Cups could be a mother, could be you're the mother, could be you're a father, or whatever. It could also be an undeveloped part of yourself if you have been following along as the queen, where the Queen of Cups, I think the whole Cups family for me all represents the dynamic of an actual family, like father, mother, daughter, son type energy. Whether it's yours or where you come from or one you made up, it doesn't matter. But in this context of this evolving queen, I do feel like this is more showing a step up in the mindset that you have as you move through these things. All my readings are general, so you can just tune in and know that this message is for you, especially if you're the only one watching. It's like, whose is it? You know, you don't have to tell me anything. I don't like to know anything, because it's way more personal if I can just say it, you know? So in order to achieve this sort of mental clarity or moment of enlightened decision making, I want to highlight, thank you, Dawn. I want to highlight that it's about changing the perspective, whereas this was not necessarily petty, it was quite well orchestrated, and in a sense there was a lot of maturity that progressed in this situation that could be about work. That's what we discussed earlier. And how, because everything fell apart for everyone else, there was guilt involved with your role in things. And that's why it's like there's this blockage to take you from emotional little fuckboy to like grown, mature, and wise person. You know, because cups is all about perspective. It's like having the glass so full that you can pour from it, not just seeing it as half empty, you know. So there's some kind of blockage. Off to this side, we have the moon and the Seven of Wands on their sides. So when I do readings, I respect any direction the card is in, upside down, in reverse, on its side, you know. I call them sidecars because I'm adorable. The moon is Pisces, so right now is Pisces season, but this is not, it's like, it's kind of like, when it's on its side, it can either tip in the upright and be what it is, or you can tip in the reverse and be the opposite. So if you're in this position with something, it can go either way, is what it really says. So if you're dealing with a Pisces, it is not clear whether or not it's going to work out with the Pisces yet. If you are expecting something to happen soon, there is no telling if it will be in a matter of weeks or not. Like, it's very much, you know, but when it comes to the moon, it could also be just kind of realizing that you don't know what your end goal was. And now you're feeling a little more directionless, if that makes sense. Seven of Wands being on the side, if it's valor, it's about facing things head on and being brave in the upright. It's all about courage and strength. But if it's in the reverse, it's like showing some weakness. And you being in this indecisive state is making you unsure. It's not that you're cowering away from anything, and it's not that you're standing up to anything. You're just a little unsure about if you should fight or flight at this point. You're like, I don't know. And you might not know for a while, especially if you're dealing with a Pisces. Yikes. So this first blockage for our first queen, the Queen of Discs, especially if you are dealing with like 3 different women or something like that, play on, play, I don't care, I'm not judging, but there is this like strong representation of queens right now, and it's great energy. It could just be you, but I don't know. I feel like every time somebody comes on, I pick some different narrative, and that's what I mean when I say I don't really do personal readings, but it gets quite personal. So the first block, the Virgo squad, right? So if you're a Virgo or dealing with a Virgo, careful, somebody's gonna get pregnant. Just kidding, but it's a prince. Sometimes with the prince and princesses, it can represent that, but really the Prince of Cups would be like, oh yeah, it's a baby. Prince of Discs is more like an investment. So these 4 cards together here, Queen of Discs, the Hermit, the Priestess, and the Prince of Discs, heavy on the earth energy, right? It's like the Queen of Discs is the Mother Earth. The Hermit is the Virgo and Earth sign. The High Priestess, I always think of the Empress as the Taurus card, but some people think of the Priestess as the Taurus card, which is an honor to me because it's one of my faves. And then the Prince of Discs. And when I see the Prince of Discs, I'm like, yo, make that investment. Take that first step. If somebody is coming at you with a business offer, whether it's a promotion, a raise, a new beginning, anything. If you want to invest in yourself, great time to do so. Do it now. You better do your pre-spring cleaning so that by the time spring comes, you're ready to clear out and start this new growth, because hell yeah, whatever, if you are being presented with some type of opportunity that has something to do with business or an earth sign, invest. Go for it, do it. This is a blessing. This is a sign. The retrogrades are over right now. I think we're all moving forward. So, like, this is a big fat yes to that shit. That job sounds too good to be true, but it is really that good. This person who just seems so unreal to you is actually very real. Like, go for it. This is a great time to invest. For the Earth squad there. These didn't have a face down. Air signs pretty much need to get their shit together. Sorry about it. But what's stopping us from being this queen or getting this queen or having this queen? This is like that fresh, wholesome, pure perspective of clarity. It's attitude and perception too. What's stopping us from being that grown, mature, wise mind that we need to be? Fuckboy shit, man. You got double princes. 1, 2 princes who adore you. No, they don't, though. We went from Prince of Wands to Prince of Swords. It's this petty streak. It's like you need to let go of that feeling. The Prince of Wands, that fuckboy energy, but the Prince of Swords is like so petty. He's going in not knowing what the fuck he's doing and just swinging his sword around and just getting into shit and just kind of out of control, immature. Like, that is doubling down on the Prince of Wands energy, like back to back. That's the blockage, is acting like that, being like that, you know, especially if you are someone who's dealing with like multiple women or something like that. I guess it doesn't have to be women, but we have the queens, and that's fine. That's really funny to me. That is really funny to me. So that was 15 cards and a couple. Oh my God. Hi, Lucifer. Listen, literally earlier I got the devil card and I was like, is that a Capricorn? And then I was like, Satan, is that you? And I was making jokes about what an honor it would be to have Satan join my live stream. And I know Lucifer and Satan are not quite the same thing or synonymous, but it is close the fuck enough. Thank you for being here. That is so freaking cute to me. I love that happened. Thank you. You really made my night. And then, like, to drop these little anime girls, like, yeah, thank you for making my night. No offense to anyone else. Yeah, I drew 15 cards. So I guess I could draw a few more. I'm not super overwhelmingly exhausted, but it is late. It's only been 20 minutes. And if you just got here and don't want to just skate on by, I'm not going to last too much longer just because it's late as fuck. But I guess if I said 15 Thoth cards, should I switch decks? Does it feel like I shouldn't draw anymore? Yeah, no, I know myself. I shouldn't draw anymore. But I'm not doing anything intense. I'm thinking Daemon cards is the only way I'm about to go now. Let's find out about some work stuff. We're going to, like, look into the economy right now. I'm going to see what's going on in the financial world for literally anybody and everyone. Because I'm just too damn tired to do anything else. But we'll pull a few Daemons. Especially because Lucifer in the building. Come on, Lucifer's in this deck. Like, let's fucking go, dude. Of course we're going to do the Daemons. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. I don't know. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. So, when I do the demon cards, there's certain times a year where I will explore more and make them a more broad or general kind of meaning, but I put intentions in all of my decks. And the intentions for this deck really is financial and things to do with labor or work, money in general, because those are like things that I would associate with hell if you're talking eternal punishment. It's like, yeah, working for $1 would definitely fall in that category for me. So, they do. I'm not even gonna lie, I just read out of the book and kind of talk about them because it's called a tarot deck, but it's not a tarot deck. I'm sorry, Ariana Osborne, but this is not a tarot deck. At best, it's Oracle. But I love them. I love my little Daemons. Like, we have a great time when I break them out. But yeah, I typically don't do too many, and I don't do as long of readings with these just because I am reading out of a book. It's literally just 69 separate demon cards. It's like there's no suits or anything. Like, it's Oracle, and I don't have every single one of them memorized. Like, I don't think I could do that, you know? So, yeah, it's fun. Some of them I have remembered, but for the most part, we're just reading. But I think it's still handy, and I still like it. Like I said, I do a little interpretation. So we're going to I used to do them in alphabetical order, but I try to be a little more fun about it. We got Harbor Rim to start. So this is the top of our list right now, Harbor Rim. This is going to be the most general overall kind of mood. And again, it's almost like a peek at the economy for this upcoming quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially we got the zodiac year is about to end and start again with the transition from Pisces to Aries season. Like, it's the new year. So think of this as like the first quarter starting in spring, right? In like late March. Or look the year ahead, and however you want to see. Beware of sharp wit and cunning becoming a destructive force if not tempered with consideration. I think this builds really well on the last reading, because I had randomly said while I was doing that reading that somebody's boss might be making a bit of a situation for them, and that the whole thing was very work related. And then the whole like fuckboy energy thing at the end, it makes me feel like this is a continuation for that narrative, where it's like, yeah, you need to watch your mouth. Like, being petty is not okay as an adult, basically. Like, we have to grow out of it. And it's like funny and cute until it fucking isn't, and it's destructive and rude, you know. I'm not saying anybody, I don't know who y'all are. I'm not trying to say anything personal. I'm Scapetti, dude. Don't get petty with a Taurus. That's the other thing. Lots of earth energy. Do not get petty with a Taurus. Because the thing is, there's the notoriously petty gang. Everyone knows they're petty. You know, you got like Scorpio, Pisces, Gemini even. Like, we know the petty squad, but Taurus will just like, they'll play the long game. They will go for the long con, and you won't even realize that they were being petty the whole time. So if you are dealing with an earth sign, but especially a Taurus, man, I just wouldn't out petty them. You can't. You can't. So this is a reminder. That's what Harbor Rim is saying. Like, you have to be careful that you're not just like, that little sass isn't being taken too far. So we've got Voile. Focus on resolving differences with enemies, finding common ground and friendship. That's the thing. So like the last reading, my Thoth deck is for situations and life in general. It's like the most general, but it had a work vibe to it. Whereas the Daemon cards, because it's all associated with money and labor, it is about the workplace. So this is literally like saying, like, if you got in a fight with someone at work and it's been an ongoing thing and you're just getting pettier and pettier and things are not improving and you think that you're going to get revenge or have a comeback or some shit, like, you got to stop that shit. You need to figure out how to work it out before, like it said, everything falls apart. Tower moment, Ten of Swords, like, you better chill the fuck out. If there is something like a will, right, and you're trying to like argue about what the will says, you're not about to win that one. You need to accept what you get and move on, or at least be nice enough to realize that you will only get your cut under certain circumstances. You feel me? You need to start building these bridges, and you maybe even check out that last video from a couple nights ago, because it was all about building bridges again. knowing when something shouldn't have been burned down in the first place. So, we've got Scott. Beware of charmers and con artists, those who attempt to get close for their own personal gain. So just because you are repairing a relationship with someone does not mean you have to be friends with them. If they approach you with civility, then you meet them at that level of civility. If they try to take it any further, you need to mind them. Because anyone who is your enemy, could they ever be your friend? It's something you have to contemplate on way longer, because honestly, it's not straightforward. And I wouldn't rush into being besties all of a sudden just because you're getting along at work again. That's rough. That's rough. Beware of charmers and corn artists. What did I just say? Charmers and corn artists? God, I love when I mix up my letters and words. It's so funny to me. But yeah, Asmodeus. Let's check out Asmodeus. So what about Asmodeus? I feel like he's one of my favorites, and I'm not remembering who he is right now. Okay. Beware of lusting to excess, allowing desires to dictate action without thought to the broader picture. This is a very heavy narrative for somebody who is dealing with a situation at work. I swear to God, it's not even about money this time. There's so many different cards in here. That, like, Kane is all about listening to ambient sounds just to relax if you're, like, not sleeping enough after work kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different cards. And this is, like, a very clear, distinct narrative about dialing it back at work and realizing that the things you say, right? It's like, I almost said every rose has its thorn, but that's not what I meant at all. Sharp tongue. Leave deep cuts. You know? Like, that's basically what this is all saying. So let's just whatever. Lusting to excess can also be kind of like living outside of your budget and then wanting a raise to be able to afford a certain lifestyle, but not realizing the raise means that you have to take a promotion, and taking a promotion means that you have to do more work and you can't actually take on the work. Then maybe you need to rethink your budget. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do love mine. What's up, sorcerer? I definitely feel that. This is like an ongoing battle for somebody, though. Like, a lot of pettiness, a lot of like tongue action. Like, you didn't watch the Thoth part, but you can go back and check it out after. I think you'll love it. Honestly, this was just because I'm getting ready to go. Didn't want to get anything too deep. But moving on to Michael. Michael's actually not a demon. It's a celebration. It's like a witch's thing, right? I think, if I remember correctly. Oh, sorceress. Did you see me subtly yawn just now? I didn't want to look too ugly, despite Nico's inspiration recently. A focus on opening yourself to greater power and reputation. Emphasis on the reputation part. Open up to a different way of living. No more petty shit. No more drama. No more dragging people or saying things. Like, it's just annoying. And I feel like it's coming up during Pisces season because Pisces are so openly, outwardly petty. You know what I'm saying? That we are exposing that energy right now. And we are saying we're not bringing this into the new year. We're starting fresh. We're starting something different. Right? That's why we had our 222 day, especially during Pisces season, because they need it the most. It's all about that detoxifying right now. Pre-spring cleaning. Telling you, get ahead. Okay, so greater power and greater reputation. Let that be the sink that you have in your home. Okay. All right. 2 more face down. What do we got? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Palliser. Oh, he's a flashy motherfucker, I do believe. He's a bit of a cock, if I recall correctly. I don't pretend like I have these all memorized. Not Alice Store, but Alice Sore. Okay. Focus on liberal sciences, including observation and charting. So this I find interesting because I literally, like, I know I repeat myself sometimes, but this is hilarious because I feel like it comes up every single time. I do not really know what liberal sciences constitutes as. Is it like sociology and stuff? I don't know. And then also observation and charting, and it's like I never looked it up because I just always forget. But when I hear observation and charting, I just think of like being at sea on a ship, and I feel like that's not the most common job in the world. So I kind of do think of it as astrology too, like birth charting and observing people. Especially because I was like, yo, there's an earth. I said this at the very beginning, not very, but back then, that there might be an earth sign in your life that you don't know is an earth sign that's having a huge effect on your life. Someone like a boss or a coworker, right? Especially if you're in this petty splat with them. And I've been saying this whole time, do not get petty with the Taurus. You don't understand that shit grows and builds. You may not see the ways they're being petty, and it's because they have a whole scheme to get their revenge. Like, it's bad. It's like who told little Adolf that his art was shitty? Because you see what I'm saying? You don't get petty with a Taurus, and you might not know you're dealing with a Taurus, so you gotta pay attention to that shit. Start asking people's birthdays and whatnot. You're dealing with, you have no idea. So aim for a different power, aim for a positive power, and like in building, not burning. So what's the other face down card? Azazel. Oh my god, my little cadoodle Azazel, my baby Az. Zazaz. Beware of looking for someone to blame in situations in which no one person is responsible. Focus on fairness and offering equal praise for success and as blame for mistakes. So, again, you think it's the other person who is so awful that it makes you want to talk shit and be petty and whatnot. When really, they didn't do anything, they just are also feeding into it. It's like there is no start, there is no end. So you gotta just get over it, move on, and work with the situation at hand, especially if you work with them. So, real interesting. But, y'all, I'm honestly so tired. I'll probably go. Thank you for the follow. I didn't even notice. The cosmic weather. It's so cute. Hell yeah, dudes. I love you all. But it is wee hours of the midnight morning right now. So I don't know why I'm shuffling. They're like, we want to play, we want to hang out, we love the Daemons. Don't get to come out often, and they are only so few when I do because of the style of the reading. So sometimes high activity, but I'm gonna go. It is witching hour, and I need to go through my little rituals, if you will. We'll do Your Gnome came out alone, so, and he comes out a lot. I feel like he's not, I think he's the one that's like, be careful of a protest, but it's not like, the one that's getting involved with other people's bullshit and like becoming a part of something that you have no stake in, I think, but I don't know. Don't remember. He comes up a lot though, that's why I'm like, wait a second. Nope, I was wrong. Beware of holding on to things past their natural end. Focus on allowing grief and loss to run their natural course. Move on to a new cycle. I literally just said moving on to a new cycle. Not maybe literally, but it was damn close. I said moving on, and I said new something. So, it's all good. You got this. And you know what? If the whole thing coming to a natural end is the job itself because you can't get past whatever kind of disagreement you have either with your boss or this coworker, then so be it. You don't want to be at a job that makes you miserable, no matter what aspect of the job is making you miserable, because again, there's no clear distinction. There really is no one to blame. There's no reason it's miserable. It just is. And maybe it's just past time for you to be there. You were planning on being there for 5 years and you were there for 10. You're just done with it, and it's nobody's fault. It's not even your own fault. It's just like it's what you had planned. So again, I highly recommend coming back to watch the Thoth portion of this reading, because that is going to give insight. Oh my goodness, definitely bedtime. It will give you insight on why now is a good time to like leave a job and stuff, because it was all about this goddamn stand. It was all about making a new investment and having stability and being able to count on people, but also like take no shit and drop the pettiness if you really want to be in a new sort of realm for yourself. So very good, very good, very good. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially at these weird hours of the midnight morning. They are a preferred for me, although I try to be a bit earlier than this. Late start just felt like it. So thank you once again, and I will be back, but I don't know when, because I just don't think time is really a thing that will ever be something I follow or see. So good night, good luck, and remember to not give a fuck. Okay? I love you. Thank you.